What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 76. Oh, wait, 77. 77. Can't miss an episode. Yep, 77. Closer and closer to episode 100. Like you know, I'm just going to keep saying this. I stream starting at either 6 to 7. You'll know a few hours before, but I stream every Monday through Friday because there's a lot of news we got to talk about. There's a lot of things we got to discuss, and there's a lot of things we got to review together. Hope everybody had a good Tuesday. It's the end of the day, the second day of the week if you work Monday through Friday like I do. Just to start up. Wednesday's the hump day. Thursday, you're just waiting for Friday, and then Friday, you're just excited to be finished for until the weekend. But it is December 2nd, 2025, and we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to cover. Always some crazy stories that are happening, always some crazy people around, and we got to look at it and review it. We got to review our stuff. We got to review the world. That way we can make better life choices. At least that's my thinking. Let me know if you always disagree. But like I just said, if you ever disagree with anything I said, please let me know. We can have a discussion about it. Let's have a civilized discussion. Let's talk about it. You tell me your points, I tell you my points. That's how the world needs to go. Too much violence now. If you're losing an argument, there's no need to get violent. You just lost the argument. Or not even an argument. You don't even need to say argument. A discussion. But let's get into it. You know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today, the very first thing, we got to go over to more information about the Stockton mass party shooting. So as you know, a little girl's birthday was shot up. 4 people died. 11 people were injured. So we got the mother who hosted the party making a statement and saying some things. So we want to get into it and see what we can learn from this situation and learn from this information. Remember, if you disagree with anything I said or anything I say, let's talk about it. But let's get over into it and see what we can learn and see what she has to say. At the end of the day, it's a tragic situation. We got to pray for everyone who was involved, and hopefully the killer is caught because the killer is still on the run today. But let's jump over into it.
All I can say is that I'm sorry to all the mothers and children out there. If I could do anything to prevent this, I would. I threw a birthday party for my little daughter. She actually turned 2, and I just wanted all my family to come together and be together as it would be like an incident happened. Has me getting ready to start my baby, to start cutting her cake and stuff. Everybody's getting together around and just start cutting the cake, and all we heard was gunshots, and everybody just fell to the ground. It was just unexpected. I don't know what happened. I'm just so shocked.
I'm not going to stop it too much, and it's an awful situation. What is on her neck? I can't read. Does that say choke? Bitty? Let's keep going.
And lost, and I'm lost of words. I'm speechless, and I just want to say I'm sorry to all the mothers out there that lost their kids at my birthday party. I don't even know what was going on. Everybody was inside. It was just a misunderstanding. Everybody was getting ready to cut the cake, like I said, and I actually thought it was my balloons popping. It was gunshots. So it's my daughter's dad, niece. Both his nieces passed away. My sister actually got shot. My cousin got shot. My son's friend got shot. My 3 of my friends got shot. My friend's baby dad got shot and got killed.
Everybody got shot. Yes, this is intense. Let's keep going.
Yes, I work for the AAA Whole Life Center. I work with the youth. And this is why it's really hurting me, because I see youth all day. I see kids all day. I'm a mother of 3. So for me to see kids on the floor and just bleeding and I can't help them, and I help people that I help the youth at my job, it was hurting me not to help them on the floor.
And it was the uncle who could talk as well?
Try not to be in public all the time with your kids, because anything can happen and bullet do not have a name. I believe that if you guys ever have a birthday party, just have a birthday party indoors and don't have...
Scarred her. Sounds like it scarred her. Understandably. She don't even want to have a birthday party outside. It's a tragic situation. Everybody was shot. All of her family members. And I would think that she probably blames herself a little bit. She doesn't need to, unless she had something to do with the shooter being out there, the killer being out there. But at the end of the day, people do terrible things. We got to keep our head on a swivel. It's a tragic situation. Everyone, we need to pray for the family and the victims. Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this next video.
For the first time, we're hearing from people who were inside the venue and witnessed the horrible shooting, including a father who lost his son.
We also spoke to the mother hosting the birthday party for a 2-year-old. She talks about the scary moments when someone came in and shot several people, including children.
ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us live from the scene of the shooting. Roxanne, this must be so traumatic for them. What did the family share with you tonight?
Now, I still want to know who he was targeting. Did he get his target? Now, I dropped a video before where a rapper said that he was at the party and that he was scared for his life and they were targeting him. But we don't know for sure. Let's get into it.
Well, Laura, many tears were shed tonight as I sat with the family, listened to them tell me that they are both hurt and sad and angry about all of this. And that is because all of the people who were shot here, they're all family members and close friends who will never get to go home ever again.
They were celebrating life. As they celebrated life, someone came in and took, robbed, destroyed families.
What was supposed to be a joyful celebration for a 2-year-old's birthday party Saturday afternoon quickly turned to terror when someone came into this building in Stockton and fired several shots.
All I heard was gunshots. I didn't see anything. I just fell to the ground with my baby. I tried to hide behind the jumper. That's all I remember.
Patrice Williams was hosting her daughter's birthday, surrounded by mostly family and some friends. She says the shooting happened as they were preparing to cut the cake and end the party. Her grandmother, Teresa Spivey, says she threw the cake table down as soon as she heard the shots and used it as a shield.
All I seen was kids dropping. Somebody fell on the side of me and they was hit. I looked up and I see my granddaughter. I ran and got her, and I just started throwing kids in the back room, putting them up under the table. And I just seen other kids just dropping to the ground, bleeding.
Spivey's sister, Bernice Bass, arrived at the horrific scene shortly after. She said she could see people carrying out children and people laying on the ground. The family shared this video from inside the building, taken when the family visited the scene the following day.
And the ones that lost their children, I am so sorry. I have 8 of my own. And when I woke up this morning knowing it was Monday morning, you had to get up and get your babies dressed for school. It's 4 parents, sets of parents out there. Couldn't get up.
wake their baby up.
We asked the family if they knew of any possible motive, but they tell us they know of none, and it was hard to see who entered the building that night. And it's hard to understand why anyone would want to shoot up a child's birthday party.
I believe they just deserve to rot in jail.
The family now calling for justice.
I want the city to know on today, if you have any idea who pulled up and robbed us, stole from us, and took from us lives, tell it. You're not a snitch, because the person that did it, not a gangster. You lost it if you thought you was.
In fact.
Patrice also says her sister Camry was shot in this shooting. She says she's in the hospital right now, but she is expected to fully recover. I'm live.
Absolutely crazy. That's a crazy situation, and you wouldn't wish that on any kind of celebration, especially a children's celebration. But this is the most recent stuff that we have. So the shooting took place shortly before 6 p.m. on Saturday, November 29th. 3 children were killed, ages 8, 9, 14, and then a 21-year-old man. So the 14-year-old Amiri Peterson, 21-year-old Sasano Arculeta. I might be saying the name wrong, so I'm sorry. And then the 8-year-old attended Stockton Unified School District. 11 others were wounded ranging from ages 8 to 30. Between 100 and 100 people were at the party for the 2-year-old girl. So the status of the investigation, as we know, no arrests have been made in connection with the shooting. Motive stated that the investigation believes the shooting was targeted, but the exact motive is unknown. Witnesses and investigators suggest that there were multiple mass shooters. And then they got a reward out for $25,000. It's available for any tips leading to it. Hopefully they catch this sick person who shot up a 2-year-old's birthday party. Because that's the only way you can think of it is these are demons. And the demons need to be off the streets. And you know where they go after they die. Absolutely tragic situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. It's a crazy world we live in. And it can be a horrible world sometimes. We just got to be honest about it. But we got to review the world together, and we got to keep living in it. We got to keep living in it. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Let's pivot. We're going to pivot over into now. Something popped up on my feed I wasn't expecting. But it looks like a woman killed her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend, and she flew across the country to do it. Yep, I said it. She flew across the country to do it. Now, this video is by News and Law. What is it? It is Law and Crime Trials. I don't know if y'all have seen Law and Crime before, but their channel is very good, so I suggest y'all go check it out if you're still interested in different cases. And this is more about the trials, but then their actual Law and Crime channel goes into some crazy, crazy stories. But I'm not trying to give no promotion, but let's get over into this video and see about this case. We're going to go into an article after this, but flying across the country to kill your ex's new girlfriend. Let's get over into it.
Defense, did you guys want to say anything?
No, Your Honor. Ms. Thompson in her PSI did make some comments to the family, so we just asked them to state show the family that.
Well, I'm not going to read them. If she wants to read them, she can read them, but that's 100% up to her. So having said that, anything else we need to do before sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so with the court read the PSI, read the letters in support of the defendant, heard from every single member of the family wanted to speak to me with regard to Ms. Thompson. With that, with the decedent, Kayla. Having said that, and having watched the trial and having watched the jury's reactions to each individual thing that was placed in evidence, and having watched the witnesses testify as to what they testified to, It's interesting that I note that the defendant was in the beauty business, and the beauty business is what led the police to the defendant through the DNA sample.
Wonder what she's taking notes. Is she writing down what he's saying? Just drawing? Does she understand? She might understand. She's been going through this trial a lot. Or might be asking questions to a lawyer because they can't talk.
That was found underneath the fingernail.
Asking questions
Of the victim. With that, I also understand I have no discretion whatsoever, nor would I want any discretion whatsoever with regard to this particular case. I do believe the defendant needs to go to prison. I do believe the defendant's, in this particular situation's crime was heinous in the way she tracked down, located, showed up, and then killed Ms. Thompson. With that, the court does sentence Ms. Thompson to adjudicated guilty sentence to life in prison. Under Florida's criminal punishment code, that's without parole. And she will serve the remainder of her life in prison. And anything else?
In order of restitution.
Order to reserve restitution. The outstanding court costs will be a civil lien. With that, anything further with regard to the defendant?
Yes.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, Ms. Thompson, you have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will represent you, and I will make the pre-sentence investigation letters and the information that was presented to me a part of the court proceedings. Thank you very much.
What kind of man are you dealing with to where you're willing to go track down and kill his ex-girlfriend or his new girlfriend and then end up getting life in prison?
More business is concluded for the day.
Clapping hard. Life in prison. Hugging. It's an absolute crazy situation. Now let's get over into an article so we can better understand a little bit more about this whole situation. But it's a crazy situation in general. So jealous New York City woman, flew to Florida, killed her ex's new girlfriend after being blocked on social media. Absolutely crazy. So a jealous Queens woman flew to Florida and viciously stabbed to death her ex new girlfriend because she was furious that the other girl had blocked her on social media. So we already understand what was happening. She was saying some crazy stuff over social media, and she blocked her because the girl didn't want to hear it no more. And I guess that wasn't enough. So she flew there and stabbed her. Shakina Thompson, 31, was found guilty of first-degree murder for stabbing Kayla Hodgins, 23, dozens of times at her apartment in South Florida on July 2020. Yeah. So Thompson, who was 2 months pregnant at the time of the attack, testified Monday that she blacked out only to suddenly gain consciousness and realize she had killed her romantic rival. Now, do you think she really blacked out? Probably not. That sounds like a good defense that the lawyer would tell you to say. So that is her. We've seen her in the other video. Who is that? That is Kayla Hodgins. Kayla Hodgins. So the old girl, the new girl. Okay. So I was walking in the blood, Thompson told the court in Fort Lauderdale. I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across the stomach. She said, claimed that she was acting in self-defense. I felt like she was trying to hurt my baby. But the prosecutor said Thompson was jealous and insecure about her former lover's new girlfriend and flew to South Florida from New York a few days before the murder with the plan to confront and kill her. The conversation turned tense after Thompson asked Hodgson to talk to her woman to woman. So you know how those conversations go. Talk to her woman to woman at her home in the Village Apartments. I killed her because she took. Okay, yeah. So we got different marks. Hodgson was stabbed dozens of times. I might be saying her name wrong, so I apologize. Thompson admitted that she changed into her victim's clothes and cleaned up some of the crime scene before leaving. So that's her changing the victim's clothes, probably a suitcase with her clothes. Thompson later admitted to changing out of her bloody outfit. The police found her Hodgins, a waitress, dead inside her home on July 13th. She now faces life behind bars. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, it's always that woman to woman talk. Let me talk to you woman to woman. That's probably was his baby that's in her stomach. She didn't want to lose him. At least I would hope that that's his baby in her stomach and she was going after her love rival, what they called it. This is a crazy situation. Mother's going to be born without her mother because the mother got life in jail, life in prison for the heinous crime that she did, which is rightfully deserved, But the kid is going to grow up without a mother or her mother, his or her mother, biological mother. I wonder if the father will take responsibility for it. We won't know. Oh, well, the baby's already born because she was 4 months pregnant at the time. So, hold on. I wonder where the baby is. I wonder who has the baby. I wonder if the man. Yeah, see, there's a lot of questions here. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. That is a crazy situation. Crazy situation. Jealousy and rage after Thompson discovered after she was discovering dating her ex-boyfriend and had blocked her on social media. Yeah, the blacked out thing is a common thing that I would see, especially because I watch a lot of shows. We all watch a lot of shows. If you're trying to get away with a murder, you want to say that you blacked out of anger, you lost control, you went crazy. Because insanity is a good defense that can put you in the nut house, but nut house is better than jail. It's a tragic situation all around. I wonder what he was doing to make her that crazy. I feel bad for the baby. But it's a crazy situation. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. Let me know how you feel about it. Absolutely crazy. We got to pray for the baby, pray for the family. That's what we got to do all every single day, it seems like. Pray for the family, pray for the victims. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But let's pivot now. We're going to pivot over into the next topic. So I something popped up that I wanted to talk about. We got a Hood. I didn't even know this was the actual place, but did a Hood County jail nurse kill an inmate? Yes, I said it. Did a Hood County. I didn't know there was a Hood County now. Is it the Hood? I don't know. But did a Hood County nurse kill an inmate? So we got a video out there that came out. So let's get over into it and see what this is all about. So let's jump over into it. Let's see what we can learn from this situation.
A jail nurse is charged with criminally negligent homicide after the death of an inmate in Hood County, southwest of Fort Worth.
Court documents say the inmate needed medical attention, but the nurse failed to give it. Fox 4's David Sentendry joins us live now with more on the investigation and also what the victim's family had to say. David.
Well, Heather and Steve, we do not know the cause of death, but what we do know is it is extremely rare for a nurse to be charged in an inmate's homicide.
He has been in and out of prison my whole life.
For most of Sarah Youngblood's life, she did not know her father, Michael Turner Jr. In recent years, however, they connected, Youngblood's father even moving in with her and her family in Granbury earlier this year.
And I had been dying to meet him literally my whole life. It kind of changed his way of thinking, and he met my kids, you know, those were his grandbabies.
Youngblood knew her father's history with the law, so when she said she learned that him being in Texas violated parole in another state, she says she convinced her father to turn himself in to the Hood County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, I really gave him an ultimatum. If he didn't go turn himself in and get this taken care of, then he couldn't stay with us because we were trying to set a good example for our children.
That was the last time she saw her father.
That's smart. I'm happy that she did that. Set a good example for the kids, because if he's a criminal and you just making it known that the criminal should run away from the crime, it's a bad example for the kids. Let's keep going. Let me get rid of this close crowd.
I wonder why God put him in my life, and then he was ripped out so fast.
In April, Turner Jr. died while in custody at Hood County Jail. Public information remains limited, but Fox 4 uncovered court records revealing a jail nurse is now indicted in Turner Jr.'s death.
I don't know what I would say to her because I don't have anything good to say to her.
The Texas Rangers investigated the death. Last month, a Hood County grand jury indicted Rachel Sanders Miller, a nurse for the Hood County Jail, who, according to the indictment, failed to take reasonable action to obtain medical care after being informed that the inmate was in medical distress.
It's really rare to see this.
The nonprofit Texas Jail Project says it's uncommon to see an official, or in this case, a nurse, charged for an inmate's death.
We had, 136 custody deaths reported this year, and I don't think we've seen that happen in any of those deaths so far.
So they gotta have some crazy stuff on her if they charge a nurse with homicide, or they truly feel that she didn't do her job and directly led to his death. Or probably not homicide, maybe homicide, or I'm assuming they were saying homicide, but they gotta have some stuff on it. Let's keep going.
He needed help, and then nobody helped him.
And months later, Turner Jr.'s loved ones,
he could ramble off any kind of scripture and tell you exactly where it was in the Bible,
say they still do not have an answer to the most basic question: what exactly happened?
I know that inmates are looked at like, you know, a lesser of the human race, right? But he was a really, really good person.
So again, Texas Department of Public Safety is investigating. I spoke over the phone with a spokesperson earlier today, requested an interview, but at this point in time, we have not received confirmation if that's going to happen. We'll let you know if it does. For now, Steve, Heather, back to y'all.
Dave.
Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this article so we can get a little bit more information about this. There's not too much information out there about this, but we got to find what we can. So let's get over into Yahoo News. Good place to go. See if they give us anything else. Probably not. So it says a Hood County jail nurse has been indicted by a grand jury in connection with the in-custody death of inmate Michael Turner Jr. in April. The indictment accuses nurse Rachel Sanders Miller of failing to get medical care for Turner after being informed that he was in distress. So I guess she just didn't do anything. She said, "Oh, he'll be fine. Oh, he'll be fine." The indictment of the jail staff in the custody death is considered highly rare by the jail, despite over 130 custody deaths reported this year. The daughter of the jail, so we just seen this, the daughter of the Hood County inmate who died in custody is demanding answers after the jail nurse was indicted in his death. The circumstances surrounding his death have not been publicly released, but recently obtained court showed the jail nurse had been charged in connection with the case. Let's see, anything else? It says that Youngblood said that Turner moved to Texas violated parole conditions. She urged him to go. Yep. So dig deeper. So the Texas Public Safety and Texas Rangers investigated Turner's death in November. A Hood County grand jury indicted Sanders Miller, a nurse at the jail, accusing her of failing to take reasonable actions to obtain medical care after being informed that he was in distress. Youngblood said that she struggled with the idea that help may not have come when her father needed it most. So advocates say that the indictment is highly unusual. Executive director of the Texas Jail Project said that it is rare to anyone working in the jail, including medical staff, to face charges related to an inmate's death. So that's what we talked about before. So what's next? The Turner family said that they have no official explanation of what happened. What's next? The Department of Public Safety has not yet responded to any comments. It's a crazy situation. But see, there's not much information out there about this whole case. Everything else we've seen. Yep. All stuff we've seen before. But what do you think, y'all? Is that enough to charge her with murder? Is that enough to charge her with murder? Where is she at? Where's the nurse at? Let's pull her up one more time. There she go. Not doing what she needed to do in time. Seems like it's reasonable to me. If your job is to save people's lives, someone told you that, but see, it gets iffy. Well, if she truly had enough time to save his life, then I can understand why they wanting to charge her. You got enough time. That's your job, is to save people's life. And if you clearly ignored what was happening because either you didn't want to do it or you didn't care, then yes, that is a crime. I can see that. But how much time would they give her? I have no idea about that. It's a crazy situation altogether. And this happened in a place called Hood County. End of the day, all it sounds like is I don't need to go to jail. It's a tragic situation, yes. Sounds like I don't know much about him other than the daughter, what the daughter said, but she said that he was a good dude. I don't know what his charges were before, but if he's in pain and hurt and a doctor is around, it's their responsibility to help the patient, not caring about what the patient does, who the patient is. That is what they take in their, medical vows? I don't know the exact name for them, but y'all understand what I'm saying. They take vows or saying to do no harm. But did she do what she was supposed to do? She might lose her nursing degree or her nursing license. She can't take the degree, but they can take her nursing license. What are your thoughts, y'all? What do y'all think about that whole situation? It's a crazy world. At the end of the day, just don't go to jail. That's all I can say. Don't go to jail. Jail is not a place for me. I knew that from a young age. Jail was not a place for me. One, I know they don't treat you good. And two, I just don't want to be looked at as a criminal. I don't think it's wrong to say that. I don't think anyone wants to be looked at as a criminal. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. It's a crazy world we live in. But we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Now we're going probably a little shorter, end up a little shorter today. The last thing we're going to turn over into is New Orleans. They have I spelled that wrong. Bold from. That sounds crazy. Let's get over it. Hold on. Edit text. New Orleans budget problem. New Orleans budget problem. I don't know if we got a couple of videos we're going to look at. An article. Well, not really an article. Just looking at some Google stuff talking about their budget. But it seems like they're having a budget problem. And they were coming up on like a $200 million deficit. But they was able to come to a budget for the next year but it's cost some jobs, cost some the only way they can do what they need to do. But let's get over into the videos and see what we learn from this situation, or if we learn anything, or just see what's happening in New Orleans and what the mayor's thinking. Let's get over into it, see what we can find out.
New Orleans passes a new budget for 2026 following fireworks in council chambers. Prior to getting the green light on that spending plan, the mayor was pushing back on last-minute changes that would increase the spending power of the city for next year. This after leaders say that they found more money. WDSU's Shay O'Connor joins us live from outside of City Hall with the very latest on all of this back and forth. Shay.
Good afternoon to you, Randy. Yeah, that new budget is about $75 million more than what was initially proposed. But what led to this sparring of words was when Mayor LaToya Cantrell pretty much told members of the council that there should not be a vote at all. So that's what pretty much just happened. She says she and her team did not have a chance to review the most recent changes, something that sparked that heated dialogue from council members. Mayor-elect Helena Moreno said that money had been moved around to ensure that some essential services would not see deep cuts like sanitation, NORD, and the city's cultural fund. Following Mayor Cantrell's stance, the council pretty much accused her of refusing to do her job by not accepting their changes to find more money and instead wanted to levy more taxes. Take a listen.
We're not presenting opinions in the REC. We present facts. And so without proper vetting, verification, financial advisors, economists, it is not ready for public consumption.
The mayor is right that she asked us to vote on 9 different revenue-raising measures today. We've declined to do that. And I'll tell you the reason why I declined at this moment is because we have ways that we can get additional revenue for the city of New Orleans without sticking it to people first.
And we are expected to hear from Mayor-elect Helena Moreno very soon here at the City Hall. Of course, I'll have much more on her comments at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live from City Hall, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
And Shay, now with the budget increasing for next year from roughly $725 million to nearly $800 million, this is where the council found that additional funding. There's nearly $15 million in unspent ARPA funds, nearly $30 million owed by the Sewage and Water Board. And the council has determined, even though there's been a lot of legal wrangling over this, that $16.4 million from the Wisner Fund will now go to the general fund instead of nonprofits.
The heirs are seeking to have the city have less money because winning the ultimate judgment gives us all the money.
40% is still at stake.
Right.
And
the mayor is on which side in that litigation?
The mayor's opposing the council and saying the city doesn't get that 40% and doesn't own the property.
The city also plans to pump more money into parking enforcement and collections to try and recoup the $100 million that are currently owed in ticket payment. Breaking news as Mayor.
They said $100 million owed in tickets. Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this. This is an older video that they was talking about.
Elect Helena Moreno announces that layoffs are looming and furloughs are now going to be in place for New Orleans city workers. That's going to be on the way. This comes as we learned today that the city is facing a $222 million budget gap for next year when you compare the money coming in versus the dollars being spent. And some departments are also going to see some shakeups with certain programs being eliminated altogether. The WDSU investigative reporter Cassie Sherm is live for us with the major changes on the way. Cassie.
That's right, Randy. So Helena Moreno says the city of New Orleans is being pushed into furloughs as well as layoffs after years of mismanagement in what she says with the current administration, the Cantrell administration, saying that these cuts are going to go even deeper. And today we now are getting to see a closer look at that plan. So in a press conference today, the mayor-elect said the city is facing a deficit of more than $160 million. And without major changes next year, New Orleans could spend far more than that than what it budget brings in, pushing the city into a deficit of more than $200 million. Her plan calls for furloughs for 724 non-public safety employees, layoffs for 62 probationary workers, as well as cutting 36 unclassified positions in the mayor's office. She's also freezing most vacant jobs and realigning several departments to reduce costs.
That includes also the mayor's office, including the mayor, the CAO's office, pretty much anything that isn't public safety, or you are, and we may have some furloughs within, like, let's say Department of Public Works, but they would be like a grant administrator or something like that.
Now, police, fire, 911, EMS, and sanitation will not be impacted by the furloughs or be losing any of its employees, but we will be hearing more about this and whether it's going to be pushed forward by December 1st when the council will take this up. So we'll be following this closely. Reporting here in New Orleans, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.
I mean, it makes sense. At the end of the day, it might be hard to say it, but a city has to operate like a business at the end of the day because it's a big business. There's money coming in, there's money going out. They spend like on certain services that the people need, but if there's no money coming in, they can't spend the money. So what can they do? They have to fire people. They have to fire people. They have to freeze different programs. It's what has to be done. Is what has to be done. Now, is it always going to be, are you always going to think it's right and fair? No, of course not. Because anytime people are losing their jobs, it's a tragic situation. It's a tragic situation. Now, just a little, let's go over into this, just a little quick AI. So key details of the 2026 New Orleans budget. The budget was primarily crafted by Mayor-elect Helen, transitioning team, and the city council following disputes with the outgoing mayoral administration. So the total budget is $1.6 billion. Operating budget for 2026. The deficit addressed a projected $222 million deficit. The plan nearly includes $150 million in spending cuts across various departments and one per pay period furloughs for about 700 non-essential employees. Approximately $74 million in new and reclaimed revenue was identified, including reimbursements for the sewage, water board, unspent American Rescue Plan Act funds, and increased collections from parking enforcement and the Windsor Trust. Funding priorities. The budget aimed to fully fund public services, public safety agencies, including the New Orleans Police Department, Fire Department, and EMS. Good. If anything, they got to be paid. I mean, it's just simple as that. You got to have the fire, you got to have the police, and you got to have EMS. Makes sense to me. Our budget must reflect what matters most to New Orleans. We will fully fund these priorities, especially public safety, and direct resources where they deliver the greatest impact for our residents. So financial context. The budget was passed amidst a significant finance crisis that required the city to secure a $125 million short-term loan to meet payroll obligations. So you know what short-term loans mean? High interest loan in 2025. The use of the one-time revenue source to cover recurring expenses remained a concern, with the mayor-elect planning to explore additional revenue enhancements and convene another revenue estimate conference in early 2026. Absolutely. So what programs face cuts? So non-essential workers, city planning departments facing some of the steepest cuts include City Planning Commission faces one of the most significant reductions with 54% decrease. Mayor's office, COA office, and city council, these non-essential departments are seeing cuts of approximately 10 to 15%. Health department is operating with roughly $10.8 million less in total due to a mix of core operational funds cuts and rolling off pandemic era federal grants. This impacts several high-impact services. So crisis response times for mental health and domestic violence may increase. Nurse home visit services will be reduced. Violent interruption work or food security assistance will be scaled back. Criminal Justice Coordination Office. Some of these duties are being shifted to other departments. Youth programs, the Pathway Youth Internship Program, travel expenses, personal spending. So a lot of things are getting cut. But what can you expect? What can you expect? Absolutely crazy, huh? But they got a budget crisis. They got to do something for the budget. You can't just live in a budget deficit. That's what's happening with the U.S. right now. Spending too much money. Spending too much money, and they're taking too much money from the citizens, spending too much money, sending it out to other places. But some programs are needed, some programs aren't. But it all depends on who's looking at it. The Democrats will say one thing, the Republicans will say another. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on this whole situation. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about them having to cut some jobs? My thing is, what else can they do? What else can they do? Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But that is it for the show for today. We talked about some crazy thing, going from the more details about the Stockton mass party shooting. We heard from the mother of the 2-year-old girl who had her birthday party. We talked about a woman so deranged that she ended up flying across the country to kill her ex's new girlfriend. And then she ended up changing in her clothes to escape. We talked about a Hood County jail nurse who was being charged for in some parts of killing an inmate or an inmate's death. And then last we talked about the New Orleans budget problem. If you disagree with anything I said, please let me know. Leave a comment. Y'all, we got to review the world together because it's a crazy place. It's a crazy place, and that's the only way we can survive is if we review it together. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any more information, please tell me. If you have any suggestions, please tell me. If you have anything that you want me to review, you can send it over to my email. It's acreviewstheworld@gmail.com. It's a dot after the A and a dot after the C. Thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. You already know these videos will be broken down so you can go back and watch the video you liked or the section you liked. But that's it for now, y'all. You already know I got to play the outro, but peace.